Alright, so today I'm finally going to show you how to create a clickable gaming YouTube thumbnail like no bullshit, bro, I promise you. I'm literally going to show you step by step on how I create my thumbnails, and essentially this is the reason why people are even going to click your video and be able to watch what you've created. I know I've covered a lot of the tips, tricks, and editing mindsets to edit videos, but we can never forget the actual packaging. Now, I want you to imagine this as like the Christmas gift, right? You have this nice shiny wrapping around it, and there's of course a big surprise within it, and that's basically how you should view your videos from now on. That every single time you make a title and a thumbnail, that is your packaging, like that is the Christmas gift, the wrapping that's around it, and you know the viewer wants to open, see what's inside, and that's basically gonna be the main reason why people even consider watching your video, because you know there's often people who create like generally amazing videos, but the framing and packaging is terrible. But if you do want to faster gaming video editing, make sure to click the first link in the description below right now. And I'm actually very excited to record this video. Like I just got from the gym too, like I'm actually like drenched in sweat right now, but it's been on my mind to create this for a long time. But before we actually get right into it, you still might wonder, why should you listen to me? Well, actually, unlike many, I am a gaming channel and I have over 3,000 subscribers right here, and I do actually post consistently. I've gotten tons of nice feedback from viewers and people outside of my niche, and even bigger YouTubers that doesn't really watch this sort of content, which I've been able to have calls and meetings with. And not only that, I've actually been editing consistently since like 2022. Like generally there hasn't been like a week I've missed unless I've been away or some shit. But as you can see, like there's no bullshit here. Like you literally see like 4 days ago, 6 days ago, 8 days ago, the consistency is right there, and that's one of the main reasons why I've even been able to improve as I've done. But now that I've shown that I'm actually using all talk and I actually deliver on what I say, let's go through some of the improvements that I've actually been able to make through the years. So this is an older video, you know, it wasn't really that crazy. There is no way we end up in this facility. This doesn't really say much as well, because remember, the packaging is going to be very important here, and it's going to have to do a lot with creating your thumbnail as well. So don't like discourage the idea of the title, because it's going to basically explain the main video idea itself. And like we said before, the video idea does matter. But besides this point, this doesn't really say much. If anything, I should have added the game name right here, probably in like bracket or something, since this was like a horror game. But essentially, actually, let's undo changes here. But as we can see right here, it got around 2K impressions, like nothing too crazy, but the click-through rate is very low. And as you can see, we got only like 65 views. Okay, this is an old video, I know, but it's the same with this one, 30 views. You see the impressions only like 1.1K. The same with this one right here. And the thing is, like, because you want to create a simple thumbnail, I know you want to have something very simple to understand, but when you look at this, you don't really like get the sort of a vibe that it's going to be like the best sort of video. It looks kind of funny, I know, but I definitely could deliver on this way better, but I was lacking the experience too. But don't worry, I'm going to literally show you on how to improve this anyway. But essentially, I like the idea I had here, but it just didn't look great with the outline and the very poor coloring there as well. But again, this wasn't anything too crazy. This didn't make it like 1,000 impressions, whatever. But now this is where shit really start to change. Now this is actually where I'm starting to learn a lot more with editing my thumbnails. Like we said before, keep it complementary to the title as much as possible. This was very simple. This has kind of become like an evergreen sort of video, because I know this is getting a lot of views, even though this is like a very poorly made video of me before. Anyway, you can see I actually got 5.1K impressions and 12% click-through rate, which is very fucking good, I'm not gonna lie. But this is a very simple one, you know. We're talking about Pokemon right here. We see a Pokemon on screen with some sort of character, you know, the background's kind of like blurred out and kind of have this light coming down at them, which makes them more highlighted, you know, which is very important since we're trying to keep it simple. It was the same one with this one of my recent videos, which almost got 45K impressions with about 7% click-through rate, which is very fucking good, because this has like 4.1K views, and again, it's very complementary to the title, which again is the packaging for the video edit itself. As you can see, we have a very liked Pokemon here. You can Gambit if you keep up with Pokemon, and then like it is peak, and I'm trying to use like modern language here as well, which resonates with a certain type of like audience base, which is also something you want to consider with the type of videos you make. And this one too, this actually got 5K views. This is also not like evergreen video, which is just constantly getting more and more views over time. This one actually has less impressions than the other one, but it still has good click-through rate, and it's very simple. Okay, like as you can see, it's very simple. It's just like me looking at a fucking, what was it, like a cold member of a game, I think it was. The joke was basically that it was like a KKK cold member, but it wasn't really though. But very simple, you know. You see my face, you see the next sort of thing next to me. It's like 3 main objects, which I like to say, like, so it'd usually be me, a character, and like text, or it'd be like 3 other characters, you know, and maybe 2 of them are blurred out and one's like highlighted. I'll show you some more of these examples later on, but this is basically just to show that once I made it more simple and made it more complementary to the actual video, it was very easier, bro. This one too, like this is one that I realized worked quite well as well. Blurred out background, some sort of like unique cool Pokemon here. Let's actually make this a bit bigger. Some like cool, unique Pokemon that's not really been seen before, and very like strong language, because this can actually work and in titles too. But you want to be careful about it, because I think pretty much you can get shadow banned at some point, and your video's probably gonna get demonetized. But there's ways to work around it, right? But I am going to make these thumbnails in Photoshop. But I actually do know that Photopea, I think that's how you pronounce it, is basically, actually let me refresh this. It's basically just like a free like a web browser software website for Photoshop. Like it pretty much has the exact same like gimmicks, I'm pretty sure. I think Photoshop does have, you know, a bit more since it keeps getting updated, but this does too. But no, it really isn't like anything crazy. I'm pretty sure you can just drag in photos and whatnot too. Let's actually check here. Yeah, you literally can. Like this is literally from my folder right here. It works pretty much the same, you know, Control Z to go back and all this. So I'm actually gonna leave a link to this. Hope I don't forget it, but use this if you don't have Photoshop. But if you do, because that's what I'm going to use today. But in today's video, I'm actually going to create a Undertale thumbnail. I didn't really know what I was gonna create, but I do actually want to make one. So open up Photoshop right here. I'm actually gonna remove my face cam too, which is gonna be a little bit odd in my videos since I usually have it on. But I really do just want to show the full process here and me not like blocking something. But this is basically just me. You know, I got my own sort of project here, and I do know I have like a couple of stuff here which I've done in the past, but I'll also go over those as well, you know, like shadows and different sort of filters. If you watch the previous video, you will know that I've been talking about having like an idea bank. So essentially this is where I have like a bunch of different inspiration for thumbnails, which has really helped me out. Like this has been one of the main reasons that I've been getting a lot of like consistent progress and like an upgrade in my quality with my thumbnails. One of the main generally one of the main takeaways here is to ideate like thumbnail styles from different niches, because that's been like the main reason shit's been popping off. We're trying something completely different. Like for example, actually I think I can even show you one of the documents I have. This is a great example right here. As you can see, this is literally an unreleased video for now, but this is the new horror game, whatever, the Indigo Park. I literally stole that whole idea. Well, ideate is a more reasonable word from this right here. You know, the crossed out eyes, 3 main objects, you know, like a little, I guess he didn't like blur the background here, but I really want to make this feel a bit more special, you know. And of course I tweaked it with my own sort of creativity and like a whole like glitch filter or whatever. But this is a very good example of how ideation works. And you know, you don't really see this sort of like thumbnail styles and like when it comes to like gaming, I would suppose, especially like horror. Like I'm not saying this has never been done before, but it looks more unique, and when it looks unique and good at the same time, that's when viewers are gonna click, you know. But this is also, I guess I forgot to mention this as well, this is a whole another website. It's called the Sprite Resource Pack, or not Resource Pack, but the Sprite Resource or whatever. Usually what I do when I want to look up for like sprites or something I want to use for a thumbnail, I just type in the game name and then Sprite Resource next to it. I could probably leave a link to this as well in the description below. But now we have pretty much all the sprites from the game. Like we have Frisk right here. I'm probably gonna copy this as well. This is also one thing I like. When you copy, you can basically just do this. So click new file. I don't think it's going to be shown on screen, but basically this. And once you copy it like from the web browser, it should like copy the width and height and everything. This is very important, especially when you copy like pixel art sprites or whatever. You want to zoom in like this, okay? You want to zoom in like just like this. You're gonna understand why. And then when I do Control H, you don't have the lines. And then when I print screen or any sort of screenshotable tool, you want to screenshot like that, then go back to your main project and paste that in. Okay, now you're gonna be asking, okay, now we got the sprite, but why didn't you just save it and, you know, paste it in the project immediately? The thing is with most like pixel sprites or whatever, if I did this right here, copy, paste it in, it's gonna be very small, okay? And it might be like, okay, let's just like zoom in then. This is what happens when we zoom in. Just imagine we need the exact same size we had the other Frisk at. Blurry as hell. This is something I struggle with a lot because I didn't know a way to get around this. I literally just had to like experiment and understand like how do I get this sprite to look high quality. As you can see, it's a big difference. Like you don't want to make it look ass like this. So if you're like, you know, like I said before, when I use any sprites, copy them, make sure you copy it, open a new document which has the correct size, zoom in on it, and then screenshot. Okay, that's literally gonna be the best way for you to have it in high quality. But let's remove that and also open the idea bank. Let's think here, what do we really want to do here? Like what sort of ideas do we have in mind for Frisk? Now this already caught my eyes, I'm not gonna lie. Like this could actually work. Like I mean, this whole like sort of weird like line here, you know, we'll have the good side, then we'll have the dark side. Now this actually gave me another idea, like right on the spot. Like one, I also want to say right now, When you get used to this, you're gonna be able to like just come up with shit like on the spot. Like you're gonna have crazy ideas just flooding your mind. Essentially, one thing we can do is we have this to ideate from, yeah? You know, Frisk and Kara or Char or whatever look pretty similar. So what we can do is just copy. Actually, do we want... Ooh. So I'm trying to think if we want like a crazy expression from her, or if we want like another one, or is this simple one? Yeah, let's do the simple one. I think that'll make it a bit more dramatic. So like we did before, print screen, boom, paste that in, boom. Also, I will be speeding up some parts so it doesn't take forever. Now we have both of these. Actually, let's make a group for this. You're gonna understand why. Let's name this Frisk, and then let's name this Kara. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, now we of course want the main background for this because we don't just want it to be empty and all. So we could basically just like grab something like from here, or we could just do this. Undertale, let's say ask or fight. Okay, just copy this, paste that behind here. Actually, I think that might be better. Okay. And just in case, if I don't like the edit I'm doing, I always make sure I make it like a save copy. Let's just do this right here. Boom. Actually, I think it might... No, I think it might fit that side a bit better. Oh, and then let's do Omega Flowey. So this is basically just the background, like I said. You don't need to make the absolute craziest thing here, but something that gives off the right sort of idea. So, you know, here we kind of ask her, you know, the heroic king or whatever, and here we kind of have the more crazy diluted side, which is Omega Flowey. And also, let's make another save copy right here. Because right now, I'm realizing that we could probably do this, which is to cut them in half. Just like so. Okay, I think that's pretty much in the middle. Oh, then cut this. That's fine. All right, boom. And now, essentially, we can do... I think that should be fine. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Make sure it's in the middle, though. Perfect. Now, let's just do this. Right here, I might actually have something a little bit more jolly since, you know, Frisk isn't really... I don't really want to give Frisk the vibe of like something crazy and evil here, because you can always tell the right side is more like crazy, as you can see. Let's try to get something like, I don't know, the ending here. Yeah, I think that would be way better. Cut that in half. And also just want to emphasize right now that you're going to be able to find these sort of thumbnails by just like analyzing on YouTube as well. Like this is something I've been doing a lot. I haven't been really doing a lot recently, but it's something I've really been doing a lot, like in general, which I probably gotta start doing again. But this is a thumbnail that's been made outside of the Pokemon niche. I've literally seen it before. I think people within it started to capitalize on this sort of idea itself because it looks good, you know. But of course, for example, right here, this isn't Pokemon, nor is this, you know. And I've used this style multiple times. It's actually been performing well. This isn't either. I mean, this is kind of unique, I guess, since it's not really seen. You know, same sort of style here, you know, with the line, you know, sort of like darker, I guess, themes sort of create mystery and intrigue here, and seems to be a bit more happy to the left side. It's a format that's been used quite a lot, but just remember, a lot of freaking styles from different niches. And I know I'm not the only one doing this either, but it's a very good way to get your videos out there. It's all about ideating. Actually, let me fix these two. And right here, I noticed that the lines didn't look that well. So let me go to select, modify, contract, and do by 1 pixel. And then what I do is Control-Shift-I. So it erases the lines like not within, but on the outside. Like so. Hopefully you saw that. So right here, I'm noticing that I can just do a copy tool here. So I don't like how there's space in between that. Most of these small details don't matter that much because the viewer obviously isn't gonna zoom in and be like, oh shit, is that pixel lined up the same way? But it's something I need to learn myself to stop being so picky about. But it's not that much big of a deal though. However, we're starting to get the main idea sort of down here, which is looking very nice so far. And this is where the magic is gonna start to happen. So we have the two main backgrounds right here. I think I'm gonna make a group with them, like right here actually. Now, one thing you can actually do if you're lazy like me and don't want to create your own sort of stroke line is you can basically just copy the thumbnail right here. Like so. Then you click this. I don't know what's called. The lasso? Yeah. No, that's not the lasso. The quick selection tool. and you select this entire line just like so. And obviously try to not select the rest, but even if you do, we can tweak that later on anyway. But try to select most of the stroke line right here. I'm not trying to select Pikachu. Then we can do the Control-Shift-I again. Boom. And all the small parts we can easily get rid of. Actually, let me put that on the side since the left side was pretty yellow. Okay, let's just leave it there for now because I do actually want to tweak the backgrounds before I continue with the stroke. Okay, so what I usually do by now is I've created a folder for these two, a group, whatever. I always make a copy just in case. That's just pretty much what I always do. You can delete them afterwards if you want, but then I do Control-E to make them one whole layer, and then I go to Filter, Blur. There we go. And usually I go for a 5, but I think honestly right here, I'm gonna do like a 4. Like, you don't want it to be completely invisible, but you know, you kind of want it to be blurred out so we can see other things as well. And then what I usually do here, I just add a black layer and drag it up like this. Like, you basically do Control-N, create a new layer, and just select the dark color and do Alt, then Backspace, like this. And what I usually do is I just lower the opacity right here. Lower the opacity right here. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. And I actually have a couple of shadow layers for the background itself. So I have something called Great Shadows here, as I have a lot of sort of different layers here. I can put it on. Probably turn these up a little bit too. So I have these sort of shadow and highlight layers here as well, which is very easy to make. You basically just go to gradient, whatever, you press G, and you have these sort of different options right here. I usually take this one that's, yeah, this middle one right here. And then what I usually do is I just hold in shift like that. Actually, I don't think it's fully straightened like that. No, you hold shift like that and basically drag it up like that. Obviously, I have a white color selector right now, but if I had a black one, let's do black. It's gonna be shadow, as you can see. It's very easy to make, like I promise you. It's very super easy to make. And obviously, if you want to tweak with the highlighting colors and stuff, you just go here. Since, yeah, this is a perfect example actually. Basically, just do a white color like this. I have a different brush. Let's use the hard brush, whatever. Okay, maybe it's not as easy to see right now because the layers, whatever, but increase the opacity, make it overlay, which often works the best. And as you can see, there's like highlights being created right here. Usually I have it on 25% because it's a very strong, but you can play around with your preference. And if you don't like overlay, you might try light and screen or like a linear dodge or something like that. But I usually have 2 shadow layers, so I had one for the background, then one for the whole sort of thumbnail itself. But I think this looks pretty good right now. And sometimes you can see right here, like there's literally like a line, which most likely means that my highlight or shadow isn't fully aligned. So then I'd usually uncheck different layers here to check which one isn't aligned. So it's the middle one, okay. Then I go in here, then there's a highlight right here. I think I pretty much just press Control-T, fully align it, boom. Looks way better now. Okay, now let's try to tweak this stroke a little bit better. Also forgot to say as well, I usually do Control-S to quick save, since it really does help out, because you know, these softwares do be crashing sometimes, which is quite annoying. One thing you can check if it's really okay is probably add a color overlay as well. Okay, this looks pretty nice actually. Okay, I like this. So I think I'm gonna try and see how it looks with red. Let's put on the color overlay right here. Drop shadow. But here's the thing. Let's make another drop shadow, which is, you know, just the black one. And let's create another one with linear dodge add. Make this a bit more red. Let's keep this on screen so you see what I'm doing. I think that works perfectly. And now let's tweak these settings because we're gonna get a really nice glow effect by doing this. I found out that this works better than for the outer glow, for me at least. Okay, we'll actually make this red a little bit more darker. Actually, I think let's keep that bright red. Well, we lower this one a little bit. Or how would I want this? You definitely want to mess around with the opacity here as well. Okay, how does this look if I just do black color? like a slight brown reddish like that. I think with a better spread that works. I think I might actually want to make the background a little bit more blacked out to really emphasize the focus on these two. I'm gonna play around and see when I find like a good spot for the stroke here actually. Okay, I think I'm starting to get a nice preferable stroke here. Or line, whatever we call it. Like, I just know these are sort of like lines have so many fucking different names, but at this point, like, stroke just sounds weird, but hopefully you get what I mean. Anyway, so I basically made a copy of the thing I have right here with all the effects. Control J is for a shortcut, but then I go into filter right here and use Gaussian blur. Okay, you can see it kind of looks, it has this like warm feeling towards it, and you can even right here go to the filters and sort of check which one fits it well. Now, I don't think for this one, it really makes a big difference. You can also play around if you want the unblurred sort of layer to have the effects or not. I think I'm going to keep it on, but I think I'm going to lower the opacity with this. Like, this looks good to me. I'm actually making another one. Oh, wait, this might low-key look good, actually. Ooh. You fucking with it? Because I'm fucking with it hardcore right now. Okay, now we can kind of see the difference with the filters here. I think I'm gonna do... Ooh. I think I'm gonna do that, actually. But then I'm add a motion blur to it, low-key, and see if that makes it any better. Okay, I added like 100. Okay. That looks cool, that looks cool, that looks cool, actually. Oh, I should have made these in a separate group. Let's just do that right now, actually. Boom. Stroke. Put that above the characters right here. I'm also gonna make these two into a separate one. I don't really need the Frisk one and the Kara one as a group anymore, but let's just keep them there just in case. Let's type Frisk and Kara. My bad. Okay. Make a copy of these just in case. Boom. So now they're a whole layer. We want to add a drop shadow, a nice drop shadow to these to make them stand out a bit more. I think that should be fine. Looks fine with me. Let me do the contracting thing again because I'm noticing some of the pixels don't really look that nice. Okay, that looks good in my opinion. Now, something I like to do with the characters to make them stand out or pop out a bit more. Wait, is that a... Oh, okay, that's from the thing. Is I do the exact same thing with the stroke. Make a copy, do Gaussian blur, and tweak with the effects right here or filters. I often like to do light or lighten and do like 50 or 25% because it makes the character look sort of like a warm. Like I like how this sort of warm feeling looks. It looks like they're glowing in a sense, if that makes sense. And then right after that, I make another copy, and then I usually do overlay, since this is like a nice sort of like contrast to make the to make it look a bit better, like darken the sides and make it pop out a bit more. I do like how that looks so far, so I think I'm just leave it at that. But that's like really one of the main things I do, which is like make a copy of the thing I want to like stand out and pop out a bit more by doing filters right here, change the opacity, blurring, because honestly that's been one of the favorite things I've been doing for a while, and you can actually see I do it in a lot of my thumbnails. I'll actually quickly show you right here. This is one of my latest videos, so it's actually doing amazing. I'm actually surprised by what this is doing, by the way. But you see, I have that same sort of warm feeling. Like, do you see what I mean? I know I added some like blurs to this, but it kind of has a nice contrasting warm colors. And honestly, that's just like down to preference at that point. But I really feel like it makes my thumbnails pop up more. And obviously, when I tweak around with it, because you don't want to have like, you know, make it look weird or whatever. I think I'm actually gonna do 35% for the sort of darkness here. And something I like to do is click this symbol down here so I can get a hue and saturation. This is going to be important because you can of course change the hue and saturation on the layer itself, but with this you have way more control because let's just click this as well so it's clipped to that layer, so it's only fixed that one. Let's just say, you know, I desaturated fully. Okay, now click away. Cool. How to go back to it? Well, you can just make it 0 once again. If you didn't add that layer though, with hue and saturation, let's just do this, unselect that, and I changed saturation from 0 to minus 100 right here. It's gray, right? But what if I want to take it back to the colorful version? Does not fucking work. I know, it sucks. It does not work. This look at clean aesthetic too. See, okay, I'm getting ideas as we do. I might really use this as a thumbnail for like a previous Undertale video I've made. Maybe it'll attract more views as well. I might mess with that actually. This looks very pretty, like very pretty, like already, and we haven't even got to like all other like filters and shadows yet. But usually something I like to do right here as well, add filters. I know it's a very specific sort of thing to search charcoal black painted swatch, but basically you get yourself, I'm pretty sure this is the exact one I have, but it's gonna be very important because this is the way I make my thumbnails, right? So I'd copy this basically, paste in for the background first, since I'm gonna do it for the whole layer as well. But I basically do this. Also, sorry, I see a bit of a tint of like a green, so I just want to desaturate it fully. Also, I have these layers up here as well, but let me show you how it works. Okay, that's it. Okay, perfect. Now I do lighten, or yeah, you do color dodge or linear dodge. I think linear dodge will work better here. But then I do this and I add sort of, and then I do 50% opacity here, so you can see these sort of small particle effects right here. I think you can even tweak around with it as well if you want to add like a motion blur to it and whatnot, but it's not really visible after that. But I guess that more so depends on the filter you do. I might do, which one do I usually have on? Linear dodge? Yeah, I think we'll run with linear dodge on this one. But that's something I usually do to add more effects in the background. This is also just another preference thing, but I do feel like it adds very nice detail to the image itself. And here comes the shadows once again, and like I showed before, it's very easy to make them. I do tweak around with the opacity like always. It always depends on what sort of thumbnail it is, because you know, sometimes I feel like the highlights are too strong, the shadows are too strong. Like right here, I'm messing with this, but I feel like I could align stuff better, you know. So here I'm literally just going in with the shadows, checking, oh, don't want to, you know, bring this down, don't want to move what this looks like. See, like now moving up the highlight itself when it was down there, but I think I might keep it like this actually. But you do see that one line. Also, if you see like a line like this, you can literally use the smudge tool, by the way, and like slowly sort of smudge it like that. You see how it just disappears? It's a very good tactic. But I'm gonna be real, like I don't think it's that visible, but I know me personally, I'll just do that anyway because I don't like shit looking that visible, you know. Let's just do it actually. Quickly do this. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, can barely even be seen. Boom, boom. Oh, that's not even the same thing. Which one's this? No, that's not even that one. Is it the one under? Oh shit. Oh, this might be another one. Like I said, if the shadows doesn't always align, I always like to check the groups I have. So as you can see, we all created this sort of nice and mysterious thumbnail here showing two sides, essentially of the same coin. That makes sense. But now we have the shadows down, the background down, and here comes, you know, other filters. This is basically, I think it's called noise, you know, the sort of TV error. I think I just removed the filters, you see what I mean? Basically, essentially this, right? You can just do the exact same thing, copy it and paste it, mess around with the opacity. I have hard light on this because it actually fit very well, but it does give that sort of like, I guess, grainy feeling is the right word, but not to the point where it looks ugly. You know, I have very low opacity on this because it is kind of visible, but this right here already looks good. Like this could literally pass. This could literally pass right here. Like I'm being dazzled. This could literally pass right here. A very nice like sort of line here with some glow. Two sides, you know, here we sort of had like the good side, like, oh shit, it's just Frisk, and then I had like this whole demonic car side. Like, it looks cool. I'm actually really happy with how this looks so far. But of course, this was sort of the style I did from with this one. If we did this one, it would have looked a lot different, obviously, but it's just something to keep in mind. Now, usually I turn on this one again, the charcoal filter, whatever. I might, yeah, I think I'm have 50 to like 40% on that one. And this is, I don't even know, I don't remember what this is actually. I think this is, let me try to find this actually for you. I think it's like old vintage background. Yeah, it's just the old vintage background. So I copied that, pasted that in, and I tweaked around with the colors. Now it's quite purple, but sometimes what I like to do is just zoom out a bit and tweak the colors right here. Also, if you want to know how to you pull up this sort of hue saturation bar quickly, Control U. That's all you gotta do. Control U. I don't really like that. I also put this on sometimes. I might do that or like reddish. Yeah, I think I'm having it at that. But then I might make it more red. Okay, that looks a bit pink. There we go. And then I might do 20 here. I think I'm actually do 10. Okay, 10 looks good. Okay, we're not done just yet though. But I do have like brightness copies and layers here as well, which I guess I forgot to mention. But that's just very easy. You see this thing down here? Let's just press that. Press brightness. Configure, you know, right here with the contrast. Very easy to do. And I'm pretty sure there's like a similar thing on Photopea anyway. But I usually have these above like everything because it's the main thing that creates a nice balance with the thumbnail, you know, the lighting and stuff. Because I don't like it to be like under here and then I like need to tweak and move this around. But just have these at the top and it's going to be very easy. As well as hue contrast. This is something I do have since the start. You'd basically just go here again, boom, create that and set it to your liking. I think what I have it on now, yeah, plus 35 and plus 2 lightness. That's usually what I do. And again, if your thumbnail does look very saturated for some reason, because it does sometimes, depending on like, I guess where the footage is from or what you're editing, you just easily lower the opacity here, right here. Like literally, if I go from 100 to 0, you tell the fucking difference. Like it doesn't look bad, but you can tell. Unironically, I might put on 75. I might. I think I'm at 175 this time, or 80. Like don't be afraid to like tweak and stuff, like genuinely, because you really want to experiment. Because the thumbnail is very important for your packaging. But as you can see, I do have everything right here in a group. By the way, also did I put on? Oh yeah, the air fog. There's also another effect I actually ripped off from my game, but you can really just play around with effects you like and want in your thumbnail. I feel like this just adds to it. Oh, okay, that's very visible. I might wait. Let's see what happens if you put these underneath the shadows. What does that look like? Okay, that might look a bit better. Make it 75% opacity. Also, if I happen to say accuracy to opacity, I'm sorry. This is like a bad habit of me. I'm not sure if I've done it in this video. Okay. Adds a little bit more effect. Let's see if we flip it horizontally. Also, if you want to do that, you Control T, right click, and then flip horizontally. Okay, I think we might do that. 35. I think we're good. Okay. Okay then. But again, I did make everything in a group because now we're going to get to the fine tuning or whatever. What I usually like to do is make a copy, boom, Control E. Now that's a whole last layer, okay? What I usually do right here is the same thing we did before. Actually, I make a group again and call it 1. So this is the first sort of completed quote unquote thumbnail. Make copy, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Boom. Also, you see like the lines get like this. What I usually like to do is I grab both layers and zoom in or zoom down, whatever I might do. There's also another way to get around with this, like using smudge tool like this. Sort of, oops, sorry, sort of pulling it down like this. That also works. But I'm a bit lazy sometimes, so that's what I do. Okay. You know, same thing here. Usually on the fine tuning right here, like the finishing things we do on the thumbnail, I do like 25% light or lighten, and then overlay maybe 10. And maybe I want to put like 35 here. I do kind of sort of want to have that warm feeling still, so I might do like 40 here if it's a bit more. Yeah, like this all it looks wet. This all it is like this passes right here. Like this literally passes right here. Like if you show me this, I'd be like, fucking hell, you know what you're doing, bro. You really know what you're doing. You really know what you're doing. But now that's a completed layer. Again, I like to keep a copy, but then boom, make that a layer of itself. Probably want to close these out so we can actually start seeing changes. This is something I've done a lot more recently. I guess a bit with more darker themed or horror game videos, is add an inner shadow. Now obviously there wasn't like any real difference. It's because there's still shit like around here. You see how it's like selected outside of the rectangle right here? That's because like the footage we dragged in and shit is like bigger than the actual canvas or whatever you call it. Now I haven't really found any real way to get around this, because you could probably, you know, get the selection tool right here and try to do the Control Shift T thing, but it doesn't work because no pixels are selected, which sucks. Like I don't know any other way to get around this than doing this. Select hard brush or eraser and literally just with shift, like hold shift so it's a straight line, and start erasing right here. You see how it got a little bit darker? That's the only way now to get around it. Now be careful, because you only want to cut to it so you get the dark shadow, or sorry, inner shadow. Like you don't want that to happen. If you mess up, you just do Control Z. Yeah, I messed up right there. I messed up right there. Okay. I think we can do a little bit more up here. Like don't be afraid to do this, by the way, because this is basically the only way I know how to get around it. Maybe you know a way and I'll be like, hey, thank you for helping me in the comments. Let's actually zoom out to check how this works. Inner shadow. Wait, what if we do 0 on distance? What about the choke? Okay, and 100, and maybe we do 75 or like 50. 75. Okay. I think I might actually do 50. I feel like that looks good. Okay, this looks very fucking good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually very glad with this ideation right here. So let's do something I always like to do. Grab this sort of selection tool. This is the top one, or second one, but on the top. And I usually go to radial blur, select zoom, click best, and usually do 3 or 4 as the amount, but let's do 4. And you can kind of see that the edges get zoomed in like that. This is a very small detail, but I do feel like it adds a final pop to the video. You can also, I've also been playing around by doing motion blur. Okay, maybe not that much, but like 10 or 5. It's a slight blur, but I think I'm gonna do the radial one anyway. Actually, how would this look to spin? But let's do 2. I mean, that kind of works too, I'm not gonna lie. Comes up to preference, really. Fuck, should we try something new? I mean, you could make multiple thumbnails anyway of this. So you know what? Let's do this. Do this, by the way. So you click to File, Export, then Export As. Because when you do that, you have the choices to choose exactly which format and the quality. Because this is the most important part. And then you have the resample, which basically sort of the way it's gonna look. Like here, if you have a bicubic, yeah, bicubic sharper is gonna look sharper. Gonna make it look smoother. It's like small changes, but I usually prefer to keep it on bicubic sharper. And I export, and then let's go to, let's name it Andre thumbnail, and usually this is how I name them, 4 and then V1. So that means this is the 4th thumbnail I make of Undertale, and this is version 1 of it. And like I said before, I usually like to do different sort of versions right here. Boom, zoom. Okay, that one wasn't as strong. So let's do 4. What does 5 look like here? I usually don't do 5 because it's very strong. Okay, I might fuck with Fiverr actually. So again, same thing, export, boom, boom, boom. And then I click it from change from version 1 to version 2. Super simple, okay? But we're not done yet. This is basically the main bulk of how we created the thumbnail itself. With simply a bit of ideation. Also, I just want to say right now, like, you might have a completely different thumbnail you're ideating from. You might be going through the whole process. You might not understand. You might not be used to everything that's happening right now. Like, just realize this took me ages, bro, to get to this point to like edit this fast, because way back I just did whatever I could. I had to learn, and the only way I learned was by experimenting and staying consistent. Like I told you, I've been editing since 2022, like consistently. So it's not like weird that eventually this doesn't become as hard, you know. Of course, it becomes harder when you try to do stuff you haven't done before. Like I was, you know, I was struggling with this sort of line here a little bit before, but eventually I found like a good sweet spot for it. But for you, it might be the entire thumbnail. Like you might be struggling, you might be looking at what you created, be like, oh, this sucks. But just know that if you genuinely stick to this and actually improve, you'll start creating banger thumbnails, bro. Like banger thumbnails, sorry. You'll just start creating banger thumbnails. If people click your video, that is amazing, that you've been actually editing for hours on end with like actual like proudness in yourself. Because I'll be real, bro, the latest videos I've been editing, I've been really proud of them. Like the whole packaging, the insights of it, like, you know, pause, but it's a whole process, okay? And obviously you're gonna improve as you go on. But this is a WS site called ThumbsupTv. This right here, bro, this is what will set you apart from everybody else. I'm not even kidding you. Anyway, this is where we're gonna test and see how your thumbnail, what your thumbnail looks with your title and everything. Right off the bat, I feel like I already want to zoom in the thumbnail. Like actually, I think I already want to zoom in the thumbnail. Like I'm not really pleased with how this looks, but well, I'm pleased, but I feel like we could do small tweaks. But this is very good because it lets you see how it will look on YouTube. But the title, bro, the title. Now, I've been talking about the Discord bank for a long while, bro. And one thing I do like about this is I have a channel called Ideation. This is basically a bunch of videos that I've just saved that I want to ideate from, like thumbnail wise, title wise, but mostly it's like thumbnail wise. Helping my viewers risk girls, but it's a speed run. Helping my noun / action, you know, but the video and the idea. So for example, this could be like helping my viewers clean their room, you know, like something as simple as that. But it's very easier to get the idea sort of come into your head when you like literally displayed it like just like this in front of your face, and it's from a video that's actually performed well. Like most of these videos are videos that has performed well, or at least has a title that's caught my attention. So it's actually thinking, like I was actually thinking the dark side of Undertale. Like this sounds already crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Or the dark side of, wait, actually hold on, let me cook with this a little bit. The dark side of Undertale's genocide. And guess what, bro? Sometimes when I feel like the title isn't as good and I can slightly tweak it, like I'm literally giving crazy sauce right now. I literally go to ChatGPT and be like, how do I make this more brief and add more extreme and curiosity inducing words? Also, I don't give a fuck if I spell shit wrong, you know, it will most likely just read off anyway. Explore Undertale's sinister genocide path. This doesn't really sound that good, so I'd be like, keep it to the main title, but with better wording. Like you gotta be very specific with how you type this, because you're gonna keep getting better ideas of how to make it. Until sinister genocide route. Something else I like to do is I take this title, paste it in, and see what the top performing ones usually do. So I have the dark side of Undertale Souls, True Lab, the dark side of Undertale, the consequences of injustice, Undertale genocide analysis. But then I can look at some of these titles and be like, what could be like a nice keyword I can use here? The dark side of Undertale Souls. So first of all, they spell like this, so I'm probably gonna add the apostrophe like so. Here we go. The dark secret of Undertale's genocide route. I feel like that. I feel like route was the last word to really make that kick off. Now, what do you do? Screenshot this, because we're not done yet, bro. And then we can do the dark side of Undertale's genocide here as well to split test. So screenshot this. Also, there's one more thing I missed to mention. I usually go to a tile case converter, which oops, that has the link copied, which shows me exactly like which shows me exactly like what sort of letter case my word should be. Obviously, if I have like a word that's, you know, capitalized, it has to like that, or I want it to be like that at least. But for this one, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to have everything sort of the same case, whatever, if that makes sense. But the Dark Side of Undertale's genocide route. We'll have these two thumbnails. Now save this. But I do have a split testing I guess document here, what do you want to call it, project. This is for another video I did end up actually changing the thumbnail a little bit more, as I showed you before. But then I just drag these in, bro. Like literally, I just drag these in right here. As this is only two that I copied, I make them a bit more bigger than usual. And then I'm not gonna lie, right here, I take a minute and just look at it, bro. Like I zoom out, I try to think to myself like, what would perform better? And then I might even go back into ChatGPT and be like, okay, what do you think would like literally statistically perform better and what works with the thumbnail? Because sometimes, or well, I think now it's out for everybody, because you can literally upload like a picture and you can be like, yo, I don't want to waste that right now because it's only like limited for people who doesn't subscribe or whatever. But you can basically upload a picture and be like, yo, well does this complement the actual thumbnail with the title, and be like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. Then you probably change this and do that, and okay, then you get to the conclusion that these two titles are the best. So you kind of ask it, okay, which one should perform better out of these two? Then use that with the thumbnail. And for example, let's just say ChatGPT said the Dark Side of Undertale's genocide route was the best one. I take that, put it in as well as the thumbnail, and you can of course split this with different thumbnails too. I know I only picked version, I think this is 2, but you of course pick version 1, version 2, the 2 different thumbnails as well, and kind of look at it like I did with these right here. As you can see, I like 4 different ones. Okay, knowing what I've done, because I'm basically gonna I'm actually gonna use this thumbnail and title for an old video I have, which is the genocide one. Due to me editing my video and knowing what's in store of it, it's basically just a normal let's play run of the genocide route. This could still work, but I feel like Secret might be more like on some analysis sort of video, but the dark side, because we see the whole process of Frisk is killing everybody, and then, you know, eventually we see Kara and everything goes downhill crazy, at least a safe file or whatever. Spoilers, I guess, but just because that slight word, I feel like this might perform better. Like just literally, and if I did more of an analytical video, I definitely feel like this would be better as well. I know it's very small differences, but knowing that I do want to deliver what the viewer asked for, I'm probably gonna be better off doing this, like literally, because I'm not trying to deceive the viewer. And you know, if you deceive the viewer, they didn't really get what they were expecting, they're gonna click off and, you know, everything's gonna be worse. But this is basically one of the best ways I personally do thumbnails. Like this split testing shit was something I did a lot more like in these recent weeks, but this like ThumbsupTv shit, I've done this for ages, bro. I've done that for ages. Where the fuck did I put it? Yeah, here we go. Like this I've done for ages, bro. Like this is what actually really helped me. Never be afraid to tweak, go back, change thumbnails, titles, because at the end of the day, YouTube is a long fucking game, bro. And I know that if you're this deep into the video, you want to create high quality thumbnails, which are simple, because this isn't even anything crazy. Very simple, but gives you the right sort of idea of what the video is going to be about. See how this looks. Load in. Yeah, I feel like that's better. I feel like that's better. To show you like no bullshit, like you can probably go check on the channel after this anyway. That I've changed it. Hold on. Well, Undertale. There we go. I played the genocide after nearly a decade. This video did great, but I wanted to do even better. So, boom. And I'm actually gonna make some TikToks for this. So this might actually be like some crazy plan aligned right now. And maybe this will be the old video that blows the fuck up my channel. Who knows, bro? Who knows? But the Dark Side of Undertale's genocide route versus I played Undertale. Actually, no. Hold on. One last thing we'll check here. Like, be real, bro. Which one does look more interesting? I'm not saying the left one is bad. Like when I made it back then, it's like it still is good. Like it's still simple. But which one looks better? Both have the exact same editing, like same video contents, but it's different packaging. I played Undertale Genocide after nearly a decade. the dark side of Undertale's genocide route. I know which one I'm clicking, bro. But if you have made this far into the video, make sure to click the first link in the description below if you genuinely want to improve your video editing, where I literally go in depth on how to create videos. Like, I think it's literally over like 5 hours, where I literally go step by step on like a whole 1 hour video. I literally break down. Consistency is key, like always. And hopefully you learn a lot from this video. So let's keep on improving.